This is the narrowing path, walking the spiritual path. My name is Stephen Van Eiderstein, and I am here to bring you my experience and my understanding of what living a spiritual life looks like. Currently, this is going to start out with me just reading a daily reading that is spiritual in nature from an author that I find to have been very influential on my life in the last few years and has given me the ability to take different perspectives on things. So, these will be a short reading with a few immediate notes or observations of the reading as I read it. I will not have read these prior to reading them on the air, so just to make that clear. So the author that I am choosing to read from for this upcoming year is James Allen. He wrote a very influential book that is well more of a pamphlet almost these days, called As a Man Thinketh, and that's had a huge impact on my life and in my daily living. And I've gone on to read many of his other books or pamphlets or writings, really, I guess I should say. And it's been something that I would love to share with everybody. And there'll be other authors discussed here. There'll be a lot more that goes into these things, but this is where we're going to start. And you got to start somewhere. So it's all about change and stepping out into the world. So here we go. So this is the reading from James Allen from his Daily Reader, which was actually compiled by his wife, from my understanding, after he passed. Um, and we'll go ahead and get started for this new 2023 year. And January 1st, the way from passion to peace is by overcoming oneself. Frequently, the man of passion is most eager to put others right, but the man of wisdom puts himself right. If one is anxious to reform the world, let him begin by reforming himself. The reformation of self does not end with the elimination of sensual elements only. That is only the beginning. It ends only when every vain thought and selfish aim is overcome. Short of perfect purity and wisdom, there is still some form of self slavery or folly which needs to be conquered. On the wings of aspiration, man rises from earth to heaven, from ignorance to knowledge, from the under darkness to the upper light. Without it, he remains a groveling animal, earthly, sensual, unenlightened, and uninspired. Aspiration is the longing for heavenly things. And that concludes the reading from James Allen. And I've got to say, this is a great way to start the year out. This is a reading about actually um, doing the internal work, taking a look at your own motivations, taking a look at your own actions and behaviors before stepping out and trying to change the world, and before casting stones, right? Those who live in glass houses. And one of the biggest things that we can do, or at least I have been able to do, is set myself right, set myself in a way um, that I'm taking healthy actions, or at least healthier. I mean, there's always room for improvement, I believe, but I'm doing a lot better today than I did when I first started this journey over 5 years ago. And this that line, let him begin by reforming himself. I needed to change me before I could actually engage in the world in a healthy way and a healthy perspective. So it's a very telling thing for building up of this year. The new year's always a event that people say talk about change for, right? And it's all about usually self-improvement. You got the gym, you got all of these things, but there's so much thinking that goes into the actual change. You know, if you change the external, that will only last so long if you don't change the internal thinking too. You know, permanent change comes from inside, and the temporary change is a forced external change. So it was a great reading, and It really relate to the self-slavery or folly which needs to be conquered. That the thinking that constantly will rear its head that I need to address and I need to explore and unearth and discard. So it's a great reading to get the year started out with. I'm excited to see where this might lead me, or and where this and who will come along for the journey with me. And this is about changing the way you live, and actually taking the actions to change, and how we do that and how we actually explore that. So I'll be adding other features later on, whether it's talking about some of the books I'm reading, some of the actions I've taken, some of the inventories and the changes in my life that's need to occur. And it'll be very fluid in the beginning, and we'll kind of take that route. So they'll be short to start off with, and I appreciate anyone that's jumped on and listened. And thank you all so much for your time. All right. Till next time.